Alright, so here's the race car. Discovered an issue. First off, look how sweet this is. Fuck yeah. Anyway, issue. I'm putting in, replacing stock axles with axles from the Driveshaft Shop. These are the factory ones. Look at the distance from here. There's a little O-ring that goes right there. It's still in this one. O-ring. There's a little cup that goes here. There's no space between the back of the cup that sits in the little wiper bushing and the RDU and the back of this CV joint housing. That's important. Keep that in mind. Alright. Let's get under here. Alright. So, here's our RDU. Here's one of our axles. So look at how much space is between the back of this CV joint housing and the cup that covers that wiper bushing. There's probably 14 millimeters of space right there. If that wasn't there, this whole thing would be moved in farther, closer to the RDU, and then we'd have more clearance right about here on the top side of the subframe. You can't see, it looks like there's plenty of space right now. There's an arc of the subframe that goes over, and it's making contact on this back side, upper back side on the boot right there. I can show you here. If you look in there, you can see right there. Anyway, to these axles. So both of these are in all the way. Same thing with this one. On this side, driver's side, the crimp on the band on the boot is actually hitting the subframe. I can't even spin this axle freely because that hits on the subframe. One of the reasons I found is because this band from the very end of this housing that you can't see because it's covered with the boot, but this band is only in 6 millimeters. This one barely clears without rubbing. Band doesn't hit. There is some rubbing on the boot next to it. The reason this one doesn't hit is because this one is in 10 millimeter from the end of the housing. The farther things are in this way, the more clearance you have, because there's a taper up there in that arc. So essentially, if we could move everything right here inward, we'd have plenty of clearance. There'd be no issues. But right now we do have issues, because on this side the boot makes contact, on the other side the boot and the clamp make contact. So if I run it the way it is, it's going to have some catastrophic self-disassembly going on. I've talked to the dudes over at the Driveshaft Shop, and they say the issue's with the car, not their axles. However, everything is stock here. Stock RDU. Stock subframe. There is a subframe brace on here, but it does not change any of the geometry on the subframe itself. And then we have stock bushings on the RDU. So everything in here is all OEM. Anything that would affect the fitment of this is all OEM. I think there's just not enough wiggle room on this. There is micro variances on this stamped steel that's stamped and welded from Ford. And I think we just found the wrong end of those variances with not enough tolerance. And now we have issues.